now, you know, man. You see me? I wonder if we can cross it.
So tell us everybody in a catching all becomes Peppa Pig. We all jumping in muddy puddles. Oink, oink. Yeah, mama.
Whole of money house cover. Money house cover under the dirt. The man house see the right now the look up at the right there so and everything gone down.
This is how we would have drive come across from the bridge to I think look here. No sir. Bomb!
My God, guys, this I know nothing normal. Listen.
Hurricane Melissa didn't just hit Jamaica. It tore into the island with a level of force that stunned even veteran meteorologists, escalating so fast that experts admitted they had never seen a system strengthen with such violent speed. Within hours, winds exploded to 185 miles per hour, ripping apart homes, throwing cars into the air, and swallowing entire neighborhoods under storm surge that came in like a dark rising wall. Residents described the sound as a freight train mixed with thunder, shaking the ground and splitting roofs open as if they were made of paper. The island is no stranger to hurricanes, but Melissa crossed a line Jamaica never imagined it would face, overwhelming emergency teams and leaving families to fight for survival in pitch-black conditions as power grids collapsed. By sunrise, the scale of destruction revealed a truth no one wanted to face. Jamaica wasn't just battered, it was transformed forever. In the hours after Hurricane Melissa passed, the western parishes revealed scenes that looked almost unreal, as if an enormous blast had ripped through Montego Bay, Black River, and surrounding communities. Entire streets were flattened, with twisted steel, splintered wood, and shattered concrete piled where homes once stood. More than 40% of buildings and roads in the region suffered severe damage, leaving families wandering through ruins trying to recognize what used to be their neighborhood. Cars were found stacked like toys, boats stranded in the middle of roads, and power lines tangled across debris-filled streets. Residents described the destruction as instant heartbreak, noting how quickly the familiar turned into chaos. Western Jamaica, often a hub of tourism and economic activity, suddenly looked like the center of a disaster zone that stretched for miles. Yet even that devastation didn't compare to the crisis unfolding inside the hospitals, or ER. Inside Falmouth Hospital, the storm unleashed a nightmare that staff and patients will never forget. Floodwaters rushed through the lower level, forcing nurses and orderlies to form a human chain in the dark to evacuate patients to safety. Roofs peeled away, rain poured into operating rooms, and the boiler rooms sank under 4 feet of water, knocking out essential equipment in seconds. Exhausted staff worked without rest, clearing debris with their bare hands while trying to keep frightened patients calm amid the howling winds outside. Chief Nursing Officer Donna Marie Hamilton Wallace described the night as frightening beyond words, yet she and her team refused to leave their posts. When the worst finally passed, the hospital stood battered but functioning, thanks to the bravery of workers who chose duty over their own safety. Help was on the way, but the island had no idea how long the wait would be. As communication lines faltered and roads became impassable, international assistance scrambled to reach Jamaica's hardest-hit regions. The Royal Navy's HMS Trent arrived with supplies, Army commandos helped clear critical routes, and Spanish emergency teams constructed a field hospital within hours of landing. Their arrival brought much-needed relief, but many Jamaicans questioned why regional support took so long and why some parishes waited days for clean water, medical help, and transport. With WhatsApp down and cell towers crippled, families couldn't reach loved ones, and rescue teams often moved blindly through wreckage. Still, the global presence provided a lifeline that kept the situation from spiraling even further. Yet behind the scenes, officials were already confronting a sobering reality. Even with foreign aid pouring in, the cost of recovery would be far beyond anything Jamaica could cover alone. The financial crisis was only beginning. When the damage assessments were completed, the numbers shocked the nation. Hurricane Melissa caused nearly $8 billion in destruction, almost half of Jamaica's entire annual GDP, an economic blow few countries on Earth could withstand. The World Bank's $150 million catastrophe bond triggered immediately, but that payment was barely a drop compared to the ocean of money needed to rebuild shattered homes, collapsed bridges, and washed-out roads. Jamaica's years of disciplined financial management suddenly meant little against the scale of the crisis. Officials quietly acknowledged that without massive international support, long-term loans, and innovative financing, recovery could take decades instead of years. Families who lost everything feared they would be forgotten in the maze of bureaucracy and foreign negotiations. The emotional weight wasn't just about destroyed property. It was the realization that the country was now fighting two battles at once. One physical, one financial. In the weeks that followed, the government revealed an ambitious rebuild plan requiring billions in infrastructure upgrades, including $5.8 billion for roads alone and another $1.4 billion to repair damaged telecommunications networks. The strategy relied heavily on public-private partnerships, a move welcomed by some but feared by others who worried foreign investors might gain too much influence in critical sectors. Local business owners expressed concern that small companies could be sidelined as large international firms stepped in to secure major contracts. Meanwhile, development banks urged Jamaica to adopt modern building codes, hurricane-proof materials, and stronger environmental protections. The pressure was intense, and so were the stakes. If the rebuild failed or stalled, the island risked facing future storms with even weaker defenses. And as debates grew louder, another problem began to quietly surface. One that would test public trust more than the hurricane itself. As relief operations expanded, frustration spread just as quickly. Some communities reported slow aid distribution, fueling rumors of mismanagement and unequal priority between parishes. Damaged communication systems made coordination nearly impossible, and misinformation on social media only intensified public anger. Volunteers said they watched supplies sit in warehouses because transportation routes weren't cleared in time, while families in remote districts waited days for food and clean water. Government officials denied allegations of favoritism, insisting the delays were due to blocked roads and overwhelmed teams. But residents remained skeptical. For many, the emotional stress of losing their homes was amplified by the fear that their region might be overlooked in the recovery plan. Tension rose as people demanded transparency and faster action, pushing authorities to confront hard questions about disaster logistics and accountability. Yet in the middle of the chaos, something unexpected began to happen across the island. Despite the destruction, Jamaica's response in the weeks after Hurricane Melissa revealed a resilience that captured global attention. Communities organized their own cleanups, churches opened shelters, and local businesses donated food, generators, and equipment without waiting for formal instructions. Diaspora groups abroad raised millions within days, sending both financial support and volunteers. Engineers, construction workers, and nurses from across the island traveled to the hardest-hit areas, determined to rebuild homes and restore dignity to families who had lost everything. The crisis sparked a rare sense of unity that crossed political, social, and economic divides. Many described it as a reminder of what Jamaica can achieve when its people move with one purpose. Experts say this spirit of cooperation may become the country's strongest asset as it rebuilds stronger, smarter, and more resilient than ever. Even after the worst storm in its history, Jamaica refused to break.